We all encounter different types of people in our lives. Some are uplifting, others challenging. And sometimes, we find ourselves giving more than we should, offering help to those who might not truly need it, or worse, those who are not ready to accept it in a meaningful way. In today's world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the demands of others. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or even a stranger, we are often expected to step in and offer help. But there's a truth we must confront: not everyone who asks for help is deserving of it. In fact, some people might be better off learning to stand on their own 2 feet. What if, by helping the wrong people, we're doing more harm than good both to them and to ourselves? That's where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism comes in. Stoicism, founded in ancient Greece, teaches us to focus on what is within our control and let go of what isn't. It helps us make wiser choices about where to direct our energy and how to maintain our peace of mind. Today, we'll dive into 10 types of people that Stoicism suggests we should avoid helping. But before we begin, take a moment to reflect. Have you ever given help to someone, only to feel drained, unappreciated, or even manipulated? If so, you're not alone. And there's a Stoic solution to that dilemma. So, let's explore these 10 types of people and figure out how Stoicism can guide us toward healthier, more balanced relationships. 1. The overly dependent person. The first type of person we should avoid helping is the overly dependent individual. These are the people who never seem to be able to make decisions or take action without someone else holding their hand. No matter how big or small the issue, they always turn to others for help. In Stoic philosophy, we learn that we are responsible for our own actions and our own growth. One of the key tenets of Stoicism is cultivating self-reliance. By constantly helping someone who is overly dependent, we may unintentionally reinforce their reliance on others, preventing them from developing the necessary skills and resilience to stand on their own. Think about it. If you're always there to make their decisions for them or solve their problems, they will never learn how to do it themselves. Stoicism teaches us that true help doesn't mean doing the work for others. It means teaching them how to become stronger, more self-sufficient individuals. In the long run, helping a dependent person too much can create an unhealthy dynamic, where they remain in a state of learned helplessness. Stoicism would advise us to recognize this and, rather than rescuing them, encourage them to take responsibility for their own lives. 2. The manipulative person. Next, we encounter the manipulative person. This person may come across as sweet, needy, or even tragic, but their true intent is to manipulate others for their own benefit. They know exactly how to push your emotional buttons to get what they want, often without openly asking for it. According to Stoicism, we must remain vigilant about our own emotional responses. Helping a manipulative person may seem like you're being compassionate, but in reality, you are simply falling victim to their manipulation. Stoicism encourages us to avoid being swayed by emotions or a false sense of duty. Instead, we are taught to act based on reason and wisdom. Manipulative people can drain your energy and undermine your ability to make wise decisions. By helping them, you are not really helping them at all, you are perpetuating unhealthy behavior and allowing them to continue exploiting others. Stoicism teaches that we must avoid giving our power away to others in this way and instead protect our boundaries with clarity and self-respect. 3. The entitled person. The entitled person believes the world owes them something. They may come across as self-assured or demanding, acting as though their problems or desires should be prioritized over everyone else's. Stoicism teaches that our worth is not determined by external circumstances or the approval of others. It's rooted in our own values and how we respond to life's challenges. By helping an entitled person, we risk reinforcing their belief that the world should cater to them. True Stoic virtue comes from recognizing that no one owes us anything, and that gratitude is a powerful tool for cultivating peace and contentment. Helping someone who feels entitled, without genuine gratitude or effort to change, may only perpetuate their negative mindset. Instead of supporting this sense of entitlement, Stoicism would have us focus on helping those who recognize the value in hard work and humility, and who are genuinely appreciative of the help they receive. 4. The chronic complainer. The chronic complainer never seems satisfied. No matter what you do, they always find something to criticize. They're constantly lamenting their situation, but when you offer practical advice or solutions, they dismiss it or refuse to take action. Stoicism teaches us to focus on the things within our control. Complaints are often based on things outside of our influence, whether it's the behavior of others, the weather, or circumstances beyond our control. When we constantly help a chronic complainer, we may find ourselves drawn into a cycle of negativity that undermines our own peace of mind. Instead of reinforcing their complaints or offering endless sympathy, Stoicism advises us to help them reframe their perspective and take action. True help is not about wallowing in negativity, but empowering others to take responsibility for their own situation. 5. The blamer. The blamer is someone who never takes responsibility for their own actions. Instead, they are quick to point the finger at others, always looking for someone else to blame when things go wrong in their life. In Stoic philosophy, one of the most important lessons is to take responsibility for our own thoughts and actions. The blamer refuses to do this, often creating a cycle of resentment and helplessness. By helping a blamer, we only reinforce their refusal to take accountability. Stoicism would encourage us to avoid enabling this behavior by helping them shift their perspective, not by simply offering them excuses or caving to their complaints. True virtue comes from taking responsibility for our actions, and only by helping others see this can they begin to grow and improve their lives. 6. The perpetual victim. The perpetual victim constantly believes the world is against them. They are always talking about how everything in their life has gone wrong, often with no effort to change their circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that suffering is a natural part of life, but it is how we respond to suffering that matters. The perpetual victim refuses to take any ownership over their situation and instead plays the victim, waiting for someone else to fix their problems. Helping the perpetual victim often means reinforcing their belief that they cannot overcome their challenges on their own. Stoicism would suggest that true help comes from empowering others to take action and move beyond their victimhood, instead of enabling them to remain stuck in that mindset. 7. The people please. The people pleaser is someone who can never say no. They are always seeking approval, even if it means sacrificing their own well-being to satisfy others. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is best for our own personal growth and peace. While it is virtuous to help others, it is equally important to maintain healthy boundaries. A people pleaser often gives too much of themselves, leaving them exhausted and unable to care for their own needs. Helping a people pleaser might seem altruistic, but it's important to recognize that this person may need guidance in setting boundaries and learning to say no. Stoicism would encourage us to help them by teaching them how to prioritize their own well-being first. The energy vampire. The concept of the energy vampire is a powerful metaphor that describes individuals who, instead of offering support or positivity, seem to drain the life force from those around them. You may know someone like this, someone who constantly seeks attention, sympathy, and support but never seems to reciprocate or offer anything in return. Their presence is overwhelming, and their emotional needs are insatiable. They might constantly complain about their problems, without ever taking responsibility for their situation or attempting to solve their challenges. For those around them, it feels as though every interaction with them leaves you feeling exhausted and depleted. An energy vampire does not typically engage in the give and take of healthy relationships. They do not consider the needs or well-being of others but rather focus solely on their own emotional desires and struggles. They might demand your time and attention, expecting you to validate their feelings and provide support, yet they rarely offer the same in return. The result is often an imbalance in the relationship, where the other person is left feeling emotionally drained, disrespected, and unappreciated. From the Stoic perspective, the principle of self-control and discernment is central to maintaining one's energy and emotional well-being. Stoicism teaches that we are responsible for how we respond to the people and situations around us, and we must be discerning about where we choose to invest our energy. Energy vampires often capitalize on the natural inclination of humans to help others, but by doing so, they leave us emotionally exhausted and unfulfilled. The Stoic approach to dealing with an energy vampire emphasizes boundaries. Helping an energy vampire is akin to pouring water into a leaky bucket. No matter how much you give, the support and energy you provide will never be replenished. The vampire will continue to demand more, without giving back. To avoid this cycle, Stoicism encourages setting clear boundaries to protect your mental and emotional resources. The Stoics believed in the importance of directing our energy towards virtuous pursuits, those that cultivate wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Investing your time and energy into a person who will never reciprocate those virtues can ultimately be a fruitless endeavor. Instead, Stoicism urges us to focus on relationships where mutual growth and respect can take place. These relationships foster a sense of reciprocity and help us maintain our own well-being, as we can give from a place of abundance rather than depletion. Moreover, the energy vampire can serve as a reminder that, as humans, we are susceptible to emotional contagion. Just as positive energy can spread and uplift those around us, negative energy can also be contagious. The more we allow ourselves to be influenced by an energy vampire, the more we lose touch with our inner peace and sense of purpose. Stoicism teaches that it is not only okay to distance ourselves from toxic individuals, but it is often necessary for our own emotional survival. The inflexible person. The inflexible person represents another challenge in the realm of relationships. Inflexibility can manifest in various ways: rigidity of thought, an unwillingness to adapt, or an inability to compromise. Inflexible individuals are often locked into their worldview and may have difficulty accepting new ideas or perspectives. This stubbornness often causes conflict in relationships, as they expect others to conform to their own mindset, rather than being open to negotiation or dialogue. An inflexible person often refuses to consider alternative points of view or adapt to new information. They may have strong beliefs or opinions, and while this can be a strength in some contexts, it becomes a hindrance when it prevents growth, change, and understanding. These individuals may be resistant to learning, growth, or personal development, believing that their current way of thinking is the only correct one. Stoicism teaches the value of adaptability and open-mindedness, two qualities that are essential for personal growth and the development of healthy relationships. For the Stoic, adaptability is not about changing one's principles or values at the whim of others, but rather about being open to learning and evolving over time. The Stoic goal is to live in accordance with nature and reason, and being rigid in one's beliefs and actions can often stand in the way of this pursuit. When dealing with someone who is inflexible, Stoicism teaches us that trying to change their mindset may be a fruitless endeavor. If someone is unwilling to listen, learn, or evolve, then no amount of effort on your part will move them. Trying to convince an inflexible person of your perspective often leads to frustration and disappointment, as they will be resistant to change. Instead of continuing to invest time and energy in trying to help someone who is not open to growth, Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus to relationships where mutual growth and understanding are possible. The Stoic approach to relationships is not about fixing or changing others, but rather about creating an environment where both individuals can develop and thrive together. If someone refuses to evolve, the Stoic response is to accept that their growth is not within your control, and instead focus on nurturing relationships where open-mindedness and adaptability are valued. Furthermore, by helping an inflexible person when they are unwilling to adapt or learn, we may inadvertently reinforce their rigidity. Constantly catering to their inflexibility only strengthens their resistance to change. Stoicism teaches that it is better to model adaptability through our own actions, rather than spending energy on attempting to transform someone else. By embodying flexibility, we can inspire others to question their own limitations, without forcing them to do so. The cynic. The cynic is perhaps one of the most challenging types of individuals to help, as they are characterized by their deep skepticism and pessimism. Cynics tend to believe that no good deed will ever have any meaningful impact, and they often scoff at optimism, dismiss acts of kindness, and dismiss the possibility of positive change. In many ways, the cynic is the polar opposite of the Stoic, as their worldview is often one of resignation and disdain rather than resilience and hope. A cynic may view the world as fundamentally flawed, where good intentions are meaningless, and efforts to improve are in vain. They may be critical of any form of idealism or hope, dismissing the possibility of real change as naive or futile. Their cynicism can make it difficult to engage in meaningful dialogue with them, as they constantly expect disappointment and disillusionment. From the Stoic perspective, the cynic's rejection of virtue, hope, and resilience represents a fundamental misunderstanding of the Stoic worldview. Stoicism teaches that, even in the face of adversity, we should maintain our commitment to virtue, and that our actions, no matter how small, can have an impact on the world. Hope, for the Stoic, is not about blind optimism but about a rational belief in the potential for positive change, grounded in action and virtue. Trying to help a cynic is often like pouring effort into a black hole. No matter how much you try to assist them or offer your support, they will likely reject your help or fail to appreciate your efforts. Cynicism tends to breed apathy and despair, making it difficult for the cynic to recognize the value in your actions or the potential for improvement. Instead of wasting time and energy on a cynic, Stoicism encourages us to focus our attention on those who are open to growth and self-improvement. Helping a cynic is not only challenging but can also be counterproductive, as they are often unwilling to take the necessary steps to improve their own lives. By focusing on those who are receptive to change, we can ensure that our efforts are better spent and that we can contribute to relationships that promote mutual growth and development. The Stoic approach to the cynic is one of acceptance and detachment. Rather than forcing a change in their perspective, Stoicism encourages us to recognize that the cynic's worldview is beyond our control. By detaching ourselves from the outcome and accepting their perspective without judgment, we can avoid becoming frustrated or disheartened by their resistance. Ultimately, it is up to the cynic to decide whether they wish to embrace the virtues of hope, resilience, and action, and we must respect their journey, even if it diverges from our own. Conclusion: the Stoic approach to helping others. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us that while it is noble to offer help to others, we must be mindful of whom we choose to help and why. Helping the wrong person can not only drain our energy but also prevent that person from learning essential life lessons. The Stoics understood that true wisdom lies not in the act of helping itself, but in knowing when to offer assistance and when to step back and allow others to stand on their own. By applying Stoic principles, such as self-reliance, discernment, and emotional clarity, we can make wise decisions about how we give our help. This ensures that our assistance is both beneficial to others and to our own peace of mind. Stoicism teaches us that we must be intentional with our time and energy, and that there is no virtue in sacrificing our well-being for the sake of helping someone who is not open to growth or change. In our interactions with the energy vampire, the inflexible person, and the cynic, Stoicism encourages us to remain true to our own values and principles. By setting boundaries, focusing on relationships that foster mutual growth, and accepting the limitations of others, we can protect our energy while still maintaining a sense of compassion and understanding. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to helping others is one that seeks balance, one that allows us to give freely without sacrificing our own peace of mind. Thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate you taking the time to engage with this content, and I hope that it offered some valuable insights into how we can navigate relationships and challenges using Stoic principles. If what you've learned here today resonated with you, I encourage you to take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from it. It's through sharing our knowledge and ideas that we can all grow together, and I would love for this video to reach others who might be struggling with similar issues in their own lives. Stoicism offers such a powerful framework for approaching life's difficulties, and understanding how to apply these timeless teachings in our relationships is incredibly important. We all encounter people who drain our energy, refuse to change, or reject hope and optimism, and it's easy to feel stuck or frustrated in these situations. But Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control others, we can control our reactions and responses, and we can choose to invest our time and energy wisely. Now, I'd love to hear from you. In the comments below, please share your thoughts. What type of person have you found the hardest to help? Maybe it's an energy vampire who constantly takes from you without giving anything in return, or perhaps an inflexible person who refuses to see things from your perspective. Or, maybe you've struggled with a cynic who seems to reject any form of hope or positive change. I'm genuinely interested in hearing your experiences, and it's always helpful to learn how others have applied Stoicism in these situations. How have you been able to set boundaries, protect your energy, or navigate relationships with these kinds of individuals? Have you found any particular Stoic practices or exercises to be especially helpful when dealing with challenging people? Your stories and insights could be incredibly valuable not only to me but to others in the community who might be facing similar struggles. Lastly, remember that Stoicism is not about perfection, it's about progress. We're all works in progress, and the key is to stay committed to living with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, no matter the challenges we face. Keep applying these principles to your life, and over time, you'll find that it becomes easier to handle even the most difficult individuals and situations. Once again, thank you for watching and being part of this journey. I look forward to reading your comments and engaging in meaningful conversations with you all. Until next time, take care, stay true to your values, and may you continue to grow and thrive on your own Stoic path.